Good afternoon, my beautiful collective. I hope you're having a wonderful day. What's up, collective? You can ring my bell, ring my bell. Ring-a-ling-a-ling. Oh my goodness, did y'all feel that shift? Did y'all feel that shift in energies? Did you feel it? Okay. There's a copperhead in the coal mine. Bum, bum, bum. No, that's nothing new. That would be a natural hiding place for a snake, okay? That would be what you'd expect. So that's nothing new. A lot of you're going to have to learn to navigate the area that you're in and assess the natural things, the natural risk, the natural environment. You got to look at the environment. You get so caught up in the individual people, different people, situations, places, things in your life, right? You forget about the regular natural habitat that's around you, the natural things that are in your environment. When we'd go down south when I was younger to visit my grandparents in the south, my mom and dad, or my dad's people, they were more in the holler, right? And I always told you, don't play by the wood pile and don't play by the coal shed, because that's the natural place the snakes would hide out, right? It's their natural habitat. There's snakes all over the place. You don't always know the snakes. You got to be aware of your environment. You got to be aware of your habitat, right? And that comes down to learning some basic common sense, keeping your peripheral vision up, and every now and then taking a glance behind, just a quick glance, to make sure that you're not being followed by any predators, right? Any bears or anything. Okay, there's some energy around, but it's not a scary energy. Some of you, it's just paying attention to where the fuck you're at, okay? King of Pentacles in reverse and the Death card. Just switch up in energy, y'all. There's some major losses going around. And losses aren't necessarily financial. It's a change up in the energy, guys. When people, you think of somebody, this King of Pentacles in reverse. This is a person that's losing their stability, a person that's losing their footing, a person that's not in an environment they're used to, right? King of Pentacles is used to stability. King of Pentacles is used to everything kind of being in place, being the way they're used to it. This is a change up in that energy. Ooh, do you see that King of Wands behind? Someone's stagnant because they can't do anything. Ooh, look at those. Look at those three cards. This right here is this could be a very scary energy for someone. This could be a very troubling energy for somebody. Okay, they're losing their footing. They're losing their stability. They're losing their ability to do what they need to do what they're used to doing. Right? Work, love, life, however that goes. This could come down to illness. This could come down to different plans falling apart. Different things unraveling around. So, the stability isn't there. The ability to take action. The ability to move forward. This is like stagnation. And it's the best way to think of this is if you're in survival mode. I love watching Les Stroud. I'm a Survivor Man type energy. I love the Survivor Man TV shows. I prefer Les Stroud over Bear Grylls because Bear Grylls took a lot of really unnecessary risk. Les Stroud, when he was doing Survivor Man, he always brought home the fact that when you're out there in a survival mode, you don't want to take any unnecessary risk. You don't want to hurt yourself if you're trying to whittle something. You want to watch each step that you take, so that way you're not going to fall and, break your ankle or break a leg or something. When you're in this survival mode energy type here, when that's stagnation and you feel like, you are surviving, quote unquote surviving, right? This is like a surviving energy. Because someone is like they're losing their footing, they're losing their ability. This is not a good energy. But in this energy right here, this is when you have to learn to just slow down. Sometimes you got to learn to just stop for a minute, right? What's the one thing they tell you if you find yourself lost in the woods? Stop. Stop where the fuck you're at. Because if you keep moving, not knowing which direction you're going, you could get further away from where you need to be. Sometimes you need to stop. You need to assess your situation. Okay? The copperhead and the coal mine. The coal mine, that would be a natural habitat for bats, for bears, for any animal trying to seek shelter, right? And of course, snakes and spiders and shit like that. It's a cool, dark place, right? Les always said not to go into like caves and shit because the same place that would keep you protected, you don't know what kind of animals or habitat are in there, right? And you don't know if the structure would be sturdy enough and not cave in on you. So for a lot of you, this is what the fuck are you doing? Okay, this is just sit down common sense. This is sit down common sense energy. This is like, a lot of you already know, or if you don't, you need to start becoming a little more aware. We think of the snakes and you think of people that you know, but there are snakes that you've never met that are or could try to affect what the fuck you got going on. Okay? There's snakes all around, and some you don't know, some you don't see, until they happen to startle you or you stumble across. And the copperhead in the coal mine, okay, it's not a negative. It can be. It's all in how you look at it. Copperhead, think of a penny. A penny heads up. The coal mine is like that Nine of Swords energy. When you're going in, when you could be feeling like you're in the dark, when you're in there mining for the precious metal, whatever the hell mine you're talking about, because depending upon what part of the world you're in, it could be a coal mine, it could be a diamond mine, it could be a sapphire mine, a ruby mine, a gold mine, right? What are you looking for? Usually mines are harvesting some kind of precious mineral that we need. So it is going in and finding the gems, the hidden good, things of value in the dark. But again, you're in this mine, right? You're working away, and then you spot a nice little shiny glint of hope, whatever you see. But perhaps, you got to put your hand in a dark spot that you're not aware of. Now, are you going to just stick your hand in and hope the hell nothing's hiding in there to bite you? Or are you going to try to shed some light in the area? Are you going to maybe poke a stick around to kind of rustle up anything that might be hiding in there? This is basic common sense for a lot, but it's not getting so caught up in there's other snakes that you're not aware of, okay? There are other snakes in your path that you will never meet. They could be on the other side of the fucking world, depending upon what the fuck you're doing, right? You always gotta take that proactive type energy, especially a lot of you. I know some of y'all felt that energy shift. This is going on for a lot, okay? You could find yourself crying for no fucking reason. You could find your energy being drained. It's kind of a dark. How do you even want to put this, y'all? I've done readings, but I didn't like that energy switch. I'm gonna be straight up honest with y'all. It's like, what the fuck? A lot of it, it's almost like confusion, but it's not really a confusion. It's a lot of this shit kind of circling back. Survival mode. As people get into survival mode, they're going to be more apt to be scared and a little skittish. Okay? Just like an animal in the wild, right? We're in their environment. So they're going to respond accordingly, right? A hurt animal, a scared animal is more prone to what? Exactly. For some of you, this is in like the people around. And for some of you, it's not the people that you fucking know or think about. This is always paying attention. You should always have your peripheral up. You could be looking at the prize. You could be sitting there doing your work to mine your precious metal, whatever the hell it is you're working on. But always keep a peripheral, and every now and then just a glance over your shoulder to make sure that, that nothing's coming up from behind. And notice I said a glance over your shoulder and then keep continuing on. You don't focus so much on the back, but you always want to take a quick glance just to make sure. This is a beautiful energy because some of y'all, you're going to find that penny heads up. You're going to come into some good opportunities. You're going to come into some good situations. And as you level up, there's just going to be a new set of predators, okay? You're going to be in a new terrain. You're going to be in a new environment that you're going to have to get yourself accustomed to what the... I was thinking pitfalls, enemies. What is the natural habitat of that environment? How about that, right? As you go up to maybe another level of management, then you've got a different set of people you got to worry about, right? If you look at it in a work situation, as you move up into an upper management position, right? There's still, who's the people you got to be looking out for? What's the pitfalls in that area? How do you navigate that terrain? This is kind of being in that survival mode till you figure out your environment and you get comfortable in your environment so you can navigate the areas that you need to. This is a beautiful energy because this is like you should know this, and if not, it's basically what environment are you working in? What environment are you dealing with? Okay? You can't always stay focused on the people, places, and things that you know, because there's other natural predators or enemies or whatever in that environment that you're in. If you're in a large crowd, you got to worry about a pickpocket, right? Anyone that's got a YouTube channel, I don't care what kind of videos you're doing, if you're in finance, the makeup people, the hair people, you always got people in the comment section trying to pose as you to get fucking money. There's always going to be people trying to scam. There's always going to be scam artists. There's always going to be them kind of snakes that's going to try to slither in and get away with something. Always be aware of your environment. If you're not aware, then take a little bit of time to get your footing. If you find yourself in an unknown situation, if you find yourself feeling lost, sit your ass still for a minute. Sit your ass still till you can find your bearing. Because if you just start wandering aimlessly, not knowing what the hell you're doing, you could be getting further away from where you need to be, right? If you don't know, sit your ass down and just wait a minute. Work on what you got. Work on what you have right in front of you until you kind of fill out the area and you know what's up. And what's one of the first things you should do if you find yourself in that area? Figure out a shelter and get you some fire. Always have that warmth. Always keep that light. Never let your light go out. Because when you ain't got light, then, you're dealing with that moon energy, the things you don't see, the things you're not going to get a clear picture of, the things that are more frightening than what they actually are just because of the shadows that are cast. So, because I feel some are going to be going down this it's kind of that Nine of Swords darkness energy, but it's there for a reason. You're in that coal mine. You're mining something positive. You're mining something good. But in the process, you need to be aware of the natural things, the pitfalls, the dangers that already exist in that situation, in that area. Okay? And it, unbeknownst to anyone else that's around you, this is like the stranger danger type energy, right? It's a beautiful energy because some of y'all need to wake up to your environment. Get a little bit more education. What are you doing as you're navigating your area? What don't you know? What don't you know? Especially when you're feeling stuck and trapped. This is being hungry. This is not having a fire. This is not having a roof over your head. This is not having shelter. Okay? Now, this isn't exactly going to be played out in real life. This is that feeling that you get, that sort of fear that sets in. Like oh my God, your security's gone, right? What are you going to do for food? What are you going to do for shelter? How are you going to stay warm? It's that basic survival type instinct. But most people fuck up in survivor situations because they panic, or they just start roaming aimlessly, not having a focus, instead of just sitting their ass down for a little bit to figure out what the fuck is up. Sometimes you gotta hunker down and just work with what you got around you. You gotta MacGyver your shit. Don't be just wandering aimlessly, because then you could, be like the fool card, fall off a fucking cliff because you ain't paying no fucking attention. This is focus energy. If you're feeling scattered, if you are feeling like there is no, you can't see in front of you, or you have limited view in front of you as to where you're going, what your trajectory is, this is sit your ass down for a minute, okay? Go into survival mode, because there's something you need to learn. Sometimes it's navigating your terrain. If you're dropped in an environment you're not aware of, you're going to have to take a little bit of time to get your ass accustomed to it. I don't feel this is everyone's energy. I think a lot of you did feel that fucking shift in energy. Okay? And y'all pray up, fight that negative energy. I don't know if it was astrological or what the fuck went down, y'all. But a lot of you are going to be feeling it. I think a lot of you are going to be feeling it, or you felt it. But it's like it's part of the environment. You're going to have to learn to be more adaptable. And I'm not using that copperhead in the coal mine as a reference to scare you, right? Snakes are very adaptable. That's why they're kind of fearful, right? They have no arms or legs, but they can go wherever the fuck they want to. And some can be dangerous. But if you're in an environment where you know that is a risk, then you respond accordingly, right? You don't play by the wood pile, and you stay out of the coal shed. It's common fucking sense, right? Most animals aren't just preying on you to attack you. It usually happens when you're not paying attention and you stumble across one by accident. Most snake bites happen because someone accidentally steps on them, right? Bear attacks, different things like that, when you're not paying attention to your environment. Beware of them caves when you go in to do that dark Nine of the Swords energy work, right? When you get in that dark energy, don't get so stuck down in there that you kind of lose your bearings and lose where the hell you're at, okay? You should always have a light going and stay focused and always be aware of your environment. Some of you, when you're doing that work, if you need to seek help, get professional help in the process, right? If you're in unfamiliar terrain and you can't get your footing, and you're feeling like this, then get the help that you need, okay? That's going to be imperative for some of you. It's Survivor Man energy, but you know what, Les Stroud, it's like, if you don't know, then just sit your ass down. Don't be wondering. Get your bearings. You want to be a little extra cautious as you move, so that way, you're not going to slip and twist your ankle. If you're whittling something, you're not going to cut yourself. You don't want to hurt yourself because you're not going to have the proper equipment to take care of it, right? Infection could set up. This is when you're in unfamiliar territory. You just slow it down. You pay attention to the steps that you're making. And you're very aware of your environment. Yo, that's a beautiful fucking energy. The truth, what do you go? You need to realize how to wield that sword. How to wield that sword to protect yourself, but not cut yourself up in the process, right? That sword could be very useful, but if you're not careful, your hand could slip and you could cut the fuck out of yourself, right? It's very imperative you understand how to use the tools that you have in the situation that you have, but you're very cautious and you're very careful and you're very mindful of what you're doing. If you're finding yourself stuck in that energy, you got to be mindful. Yeah, that sword, it could be very useful. This is information that's useful, right? But if you're not careful, you could cut your hand on that sword, right? Your hand slips. There you go. This is a very different energy on this, because for a lot of you, this is just like basic. It is like survival knowledge. It's like basic environmental energies, because life can sometimes be that way, right? Even if you're not used to going out in the woods. When you navigate, there's all kinds of things. You know, we say the concrete jungle for the big cities, because you don't know exactly who's around. You know, you got all these people and you got all these things, but you're not really sure of, what the dangers and pitfalls are, right? Death in reverse, the moon card. We did have that last lunar eclipse in Scorpio. A lot of you, the emotions are going to be fucking off the charts, okay? I'm telling y'all. So don't revel too much in it. If you feel the need to cry, bitch, cry, okay? If you feel the need to be a little lethargic, do it. Do what you need to do. Get those emotions out. Get those emotions out. This is that. Don't freak out. If you need to sit your ass down and be still for a minute, sit your ass down and be still for a minute. You cannot be afraid of the dark right now. That's that copperhead. That's that heads up penny, right? It's there. It's there. You can see it shining in the dark, right? But notice them two towers. How you going to get to it? You're going to have to put your hand in there to kind of reach it. But you don't know what's behind them two walls. You don't know what's behind them, right? So your best bet would be to, maybe stick a stick in there. Maybe throw a rock or two. Anything that could be back there that could come out of nowhere and frighten you. A natural, whatever's in that environment, right? Because we see the two dogs there in that little, what do they call that? Crawfish coming out of the fucking bottom. We know we got these animals here, so you don't know what's lurking behind them. But it's part of their environment. When you're navigating in another environment, this is just the natural shit that's around you. It's not always about people and places that you know. This is the new environment. Emperor energy, king of the jungle, king of the forest, king of the forest. I was picturing a sword on him, but he has a staff instead, right? Knowing to sit your ass down. Knowing to sit your ass down. Emperor's Taurus, isn't it? Aries. Emperor's Aries energy. When to sit still. Assess your environment, right? The Emperor controls this kingdom. You got to kind of get the lay of the land. You got to understand how things are operating. You got to understand the natural habitat of the creatures, animals, people, places, things around you, right? Even in the concrete jungle, you got to watch your wallet when you're out in public space, right? You don't want no one to pickpocket you. You got to be mindful of your environment. Cars, extra cars, any, potholes in the road, anything like that. This is just being aware of where the fuck you are and not tripping over something that you could have seen coming, right? It's environment. It's your environment. Whatever environment that is, and whatever natural enemies or whatever natural predators might be there. And that's not in a bad way, it's just what naturally exists there that you should always be cautious of. It feels kind of wild because for some of you it's going to feel out of place because you're not really just looking at what's around you, right? Nine of Wands, Five of Swords, Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Not having your guard up and protecting what's yours, right? This is like not taking the time to build you a safe shelter where you feel like you have a security net, a safety net around you, where you feel protected. Some of y'all don't even have that going for you yet. You haven't figured out how to create that safety where you personally feel safe on the inside. That Five of Swords. The Ten of Pentacles. That Ten of Pentacles is that Copperhead Road. I tell y'all, that shiny penny heads up. Okay? It's there. That one leads to a discovery of 10. You found the perfect spot in the mind to mine some pretty good shit, but you gotta be mindful now of the territory that you were operating in. Okay? Whatever environment that is. Whatever environment that is, guys. Work, love, life. I was thinking 1 if by land, 2 if by sea on that, right? Staying put where you need to. Only go in the water when you know how to navigate the water, right? If you're not a swimmer, why would you ask go out on a boat in a survival situation? Stick to the ground. Stick to the land. Keep your feet firmly planted on the ground. This is that going between the energies. This is also that instability, right? Not having your footing correct. Not having a solid foundation. This being all up in your emotions, which could cause you to make decisions to do something that wouldn't be to your benefit. You know, Les Stroud hardly ever went by water because he'd tell you the downfalls of water, right? And you never wanted to get wet, usually in a survivor situation. Water was usually the last thing that he'd do, unless it was finding water to drink. So don't go out on a raft if your ass can't swim in them emotions, because, you know, chances are in that situation, you're going to freak the fuck out, fall in the water, and then you're not going to fare too well. Okay? So this is staying grounded, not getting caught up in them emotions, and doing things emotionally or from an emotional standpoint where your ass don't feel safe. Okay? 7 of Wands in reverse. Some of you, this is about losing your footing and not being able. This is the energy I want you to stay out of. I think this is what this reading is all about, to be quite honest with you. That's 7 of Wands in reverse. You can navigate your situation. We all can. You would be amazed at situations you are put in that you're going to be able to navigate. But the first thing you need to do is just sit your ass down and take a look around. Okay? Even if you're not aware of the environment that you're in. And when I say environment, guys, you know, you look at geography. You could be in the mountains, in a forest. You could be in the fucking desert. You could be in a concrete jungle. And a city trying to navigate and figure out what the fuck you got going on. Geography is different. The topography that you're dealing in is different. There's different situations in your life require different ways of navigating. Work, love, life. But you're able to defend yourself. Some of you, this is spirit kind of dropping your ass in a survival situation to see how the hell you're going to fare. And you know, most people do okay if they just set their ass down and looked at the basics. Kind of get a footing as to where the hell you're at. It's that stagnation energy. And this is the thing I'm telling you. A lot of you are going to be having to really focus on really getting grounded and not trying to make decisions based on emotions. Because if you get too far out in that and that little raft you're on capsizes, are you going to be able to swim to shore or not? Because for a lot of you, you don't even know where the hell the shore is at. For some, you're so caught up in your emotions, you can't see where the land is. You can't get your grounding. This isn't going to be for everybody, but for some people, they're so caught up in that emotions and their emotions. Work, love, life, y'all, and they're unable to see the dry land. They're unable to see the island. They're unable to see land. And what happens in that situation? Your ass is going to panic. Seven of Wands in reverse. This is usually about defenses down, right? You have to know the environment that you're in and the things you have to be aware of in order to have your guard up. This right here to me just means sit your ass down, take a look at your environment, take a look at what you got going on, and figure out what it is you need to be working on. I'm thinking that naked and afraid, right? Some of y'all, you're feeling naked and afraid and you don't know what the fuck to do, right? No. You got to take a minute and assess your situation. Then from that, you can move on accordingly. Don't be doing anything stupid that's going to get yourself stuck in a situation that isn't going to be good, right? If your ass can't swim, do you really want to be on a raft in the fucking water? Think logically. Make smart decisions. This is really a beautiful energy. I don't want anyone to walk away from this reading feeling bad, because this is basically a heads up. Sit your ass down, take a look at your environment. What is the natural things and when I say natural, what's the normal things you should be aware of, right? If you're in a newer city, what's the one thing you should watch? Your billfold, your purse, right? Your personal belongings, so no one can fucking steal them. And then you could worry about everything else. You have your basic personal safety, right? The things that are important to you, making sure they're safe. And then you look around your environment, pay attention to what's around there, and make sure you're in a safe neighborhood. Make sure you're in a safe area, right? You're going to pay attention to the signs of that. And then you're going to be able to navigate. Because y'all, that energy shift, I'm telling you, it sends some shit out. But it's a positive, because some of you, it's that get back to the basics. Get back to the basics. You're losing sight of where the hell you're at and what the fuck you got going on, okay? Sometimes just sit your ass down and take a good hard look around. What is your environment? What does it have to offer you to help you? And then what are the things you need to be on the lookout for? The things that are just kind of built into the topography, the things that are just there, you got to watch out for, right? The animals, the shady rocks, the spider, whatever the fuck you got going on. You got to know your environment in order to navigate it. And you also got to know what's naturally there that could kind of pose a threat. Like jellyfish in the ocean, right? Kind of paying attention to that. You're not really planning on it, but if one of them come up and stung your ass, you're not going to be too happy, right? You can't blame the jellyfish because you're in their environment. That's just something you have to be aware of. Some of you, it's issues like that. Just natural things that you should be aware of. Again, drawn to that sword energy. That sword could be great in a survival situation, but if you're not careful and your hand slips, guess what? It can cut the shit out of you. So navigate slowly. Don't rush. Do what you need to do. Take the time you need to take. You got all the time in the world, okay? Sit your ass still. That Ace of Cups, do not get overly emotional, okay? If you gotta cry, cry. But if you're dealing with situations, people, places, and things, do not. Pull yourself back. This is doing that healing work. And as I said that, I was wanting to put that chariot in the upright. This is doing that healing work. Getting out of this feeling that you're stuck and you can't navigate where you're at. It's more like this, your navigational system in life. Understanding how to move forward and do what you need to do in whatever situation is presented to you. You could feel like you're in a situation where you don't have any footing, where you could feel like completely out in the open and exposed, but you still got to be able to understand you can work the environment. Right? This is that fool in reverse. You're not making any foolish choices or decisions or doing anything. You're not really rushing if you're not quite sure what you need to do. Okay, yes, there are some split-second decisions you need to make, but don't make anything major just yet. If you don't have everything you need to know in order. Right? Don't be walking foolishly in a terrain you don't know and walk into a hole in the ground, or trip over a fucking rock, or trip over a fucking log. And then you trip over the log, you're going to get bit by a fucking snake. Because you know what? That's the snake's natural habitat, right? This isn't, I'm not feeling this as the energy of someone coming after anybody. I'm not feeling like it's that. It's for some of you, this is just the natural things that are around. Don't get caught up in everything else that you forget the basic legit shit that you should be concerned about. Your personal safety, your personal security. From just the regular things that are already in your environment. This is really going to bring enlightening to some. That sun in reverse and that 10 of swords. This is that energy, and some of y'all going to be feeling it. Okay, I don't know what the fuck that shift in energy was, y'all. Woo! This is that when someone needs to pick their ass up and continue on, right? This is okay. Someone got out there on that water, thought they could take that raft. The raft fell apart because they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. They couldn't swim any fucking way, but guess what? They thought, oh, fuck it. Right? And then here they are on the fucking shore. Not a negative card. The swords are where their body is sore. Because you know what? If it was a little whitewater rafting type energy, they got their ass beat up on them rocks as they were out there trying to navigate that water because they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Water is emotions, guys and gals. The sun here in reverse. That's darkness. That cave. Okay? It's that cave energy. This is the pivotal point. 2 of Pentacles here with that Temperance card in reverse. Look at that. 2 and 2. 22 could mean something. 44. 4. 2, 2. 4, 4. 36, 33 when I said that. This is navigating. This is navigating. Probably not your typical tarot reading, right? But this is beautiful energy. There are things that naturally exist in the world, and we just got to deal with them, right? That conflict energy is just the natural things, as we all cohabit this world together, right? There are certain things we got to be on the lookout for. Picture that as swatting the flies or the mosquitoes away, right? That Page of Cups energy right there. Being grounded. Emotions under control. You see the little fishy in there. Pisces. Just beware of your natural environment. As you're navigating down the road. The regular things that are just going to be things you've got to keep in mind. Right? Watch your emotions, though. If you're drawn to cry, cry. If you feel like you're on that raft in the water and you can't gain footing, then seek the help that you need, okay? Because that's going to be imperative. It's a learning lesson. Y'all going to get through it, but, if you're really feeling lost and stuck, just sit your ass down. Don't keep moving forward. If you don't know where you're going, you don't know where the fuck you're at, just sit your ass down till you can figure out where you are and get used to where you are, your environment that you have to operate in, the environment you have to work in. Don't just keep wandering aimlessly because you're just going to move yourself further and further away from where you could be rescued from, where, you parked your fucking car, but you got off the path, right? But if you just keep wandering, you're just going to walk your ass further away. Sit your ass down. Take a look at your environment. Keep your peripherals up. Focus on what you got to do. Slow it down a little bit. Every now and then, take a look behind you. Maybe check out some Survivor Man shows. Les Stroud is really good, I think, at helping you navigate, even in situations like that. For some of you, it all boils down to the same. How you survive in the wilderness, how you survive in situations that you're unfamiliar with. It's the same emotionally. It all comes down to the same thing. Don't rush. Sit your ass down. Assess where the hell you're at. Use what you have around you. Move carefully and slowly so you don't hurt yourself on anything that's in your environment that is totally unrelated to what you got going on. And then you'll be able to make it out. If not, you'll at least be able to survive. Okay? So, collective, I love that. You can ring my bell, ring my bell, ring-a-ling-a-ling. Maybe that's for my men out there. I don't know. That's very, very specific, y'all. There's a copperhead in the coal mine, but you know what? Of course there'd be. That's the natural environment that they're attracted to. You're the one that's in their space. So you both got to kind of share the space with respect for each other. Right? Peace, love, and light.